Hey everyone, welcome to Destination OG. This is the current Destination OG vehicle. It's a 718 Cayman GTS 4.0, and I'm going to go through how I want you to wash the car if you were fortunate enough to stay here and borrow the car while you were here at your Destination OG experience. Part of the requisite, if you borrow the car from me, you have to wash it before you leave. This is how I want you to do it. I know that you may have your own procedures. You're borrowing the car, it's my car, and so I want you to wash it my way. And there's only one way to do it. Seriously though, I would like you to wash it this way. We'll keep it nice and maintained for all of us. So I'm going to take you through all the products that we need, the procedures, where everything is, and I'm also going to make a separate video on how to stow it and where to keep it and how to put the trickle charger and stuff like that on it. So let's get started. Step one, get your buckets going. I always have to fix things when I come here because people are freaking idiots. And they mess up everything. So I always start the rinse bucket first, this rolling. Get my wash bucket. I need the easy details, brush for the tires, a lambskin mitt, the race glaze brush, foam cannons are in here, as well as microfiber towels. So I'm gonna grab foam cannon. This is non-diluted brake buster. Brake buster is up in the top right corner if we need any extra. Make sure you don't overfill your bucket while you're setting up the rinse. I'm gonna grab my wheel cleaner sprayer as well. If you should need, if any of the tips have broken or failed until we get the new stainless, they are in this cabinet. There are tips, spray heads. There's also industrial spray heads down in the bottom right. So they're available here, if this should fail. Generally, we kind of keep it up to date. Oh, the brake buster's here if you need more. Gallons are always here or here. So if you need any extra refills, we try to keep them topped off. But if you have a bunch of people here, you may run through some product. So I've got this filled and ready to go. So get my wheel bucket set up. While that's going, I like to get my foam cannon set up. I'm gonna put 150 milliliters. Do not put full concentrated soap in here. We've had some people that come here with a full soap. Don't do that. That would use like, I don't know how many dollars of soap, but just don't do it. There we go. Actually, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? This is not the way to do it. It's right here, way easier. I thought that seemed a little weird when I was doing that. All right, so I'm gonna put 150 milliliters of soap in here, which is the third line. I'm gonna take this and this over to here. Oh, I'm also gonna grab your wash mitts, or wash pads. We have both mitts and pads. I like the pads, so I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna add a couple of squirtaroos of soap. You don't need a ton of soap because we're gonna have leftover soap in our foam cannon. I always wipe off the excess. Fill up my foam cannon. We're not pre-washing here yet because I don't have the pre-wash ironed out yet, so we're just gonna do soap. It's a small car, so I fill it up to about 750 milliliters total. I take the cap that's sitting right on the, whatever you call it, the CR. Shake it up. I'm gonna set it aside here. I don't fill up the soap bucket yet because all the suds will die by the time I'm done with the wheels. Now we're gonna set up the pressure washer. Do not turn the pressure washer water flow on until you take the PP plug out. Otherwise you're gonna have a bad day. Take this, take my gun and wand. Since I'm going to do the wheels, take the wand off. I throw it in the rinse bucket. Put my nozzle on. Now I'm going to turn the water on. I'm going to loosen my drag a bit. I'm going to pull my hose out. Don't throw my gun on the ground. Set it on the ground. I'm going to pull out 50 feet of hose or so. Turn my drag back on a bit. Pull my hose out. Turn the pressure washer on. Make sure, hit the GFCI. Pressure washer's on. Good to go. Now we're ready to wash. Step one of washing is always wheels. First step, rinse. Now the car has steel brakes, so for now anyway, or if you have carbon ceramics, either way, I want to get in and spray out all the brake pads. So I'm 18 inches away. Spray out the wheel wells. No need to get any closer than 18 inches. Take my tip off, grab my foam cannon, install, check, make sure I'm at full plus. Check my pattern, should be good to go. I come back about 3 feet. Set my foam cannon aside, put my tip back on. I'm going to grab my easy detail. Actually, there should be in this bucket, there should be an Incredipad. Since they're steel brakes and they're, what are they, 19s, 20s, I forget. I have room to fit my Incredibrush. Get in there and clean the wells first. Back in the bucket, take my easy detail. Scrub the caliper. Then I'm going to take and swipe the fender wells. Grab the Incredibrush. Clean the lugs. Clean the area around the valve stem. Clean caliper. Lambskin mitt, and clean the surface of the wheel. Reaching behind spokes, in spokes, all around. Wheels are coated with armor, wheel coating, so cleanup should be pretty easy. You should also be doing this when the car is cold, not hot. And the next step, before you rinse off, grab your sprayer, adjust your spray pattern, prime it. Spray brake buster on the tire. Grab your Detail Factory tire brush. Rinse. We're going to repeat that process on all 4 wheels. I like to take each tool as I'm done with it and set it aside. Freaking people are so stupid. What is wrong with people? I've never done that one time. You're gonna clean up the wheel bucket. Of course, they frickin' jacked me too. So stupid. I guess I've got to teach you people this, but when you take the wheel bucket, there's 1, 2, 3. There's 3 little holders. So take the thing, look at this. Don't do that. Put it so that it goes in the middle. Shouldn't be tight. Take your now ruined grit guard. These people are freaking stupid. And put it in straight. Guess I'm gonna have to get a new grit guard. That's all we need. Just nice loose fit. Shake out all your tools. Put them back. We're done with the wheel bucket. Apparently I gotta get a new wheel bucket. Wipe off your wheel cleaner. Put it back straight. Like a grown-up. I'm gonna I always have a multi-purpose towel out. Take my towel, wipe off my foam cannon. Don't put it back in the cabinet wet. If you want to let it dry, you can set it aside. Put it away after you're done. I like to get things done, put it away. That's where it belongs. Wipe off my soap, put it where it belongs. Okay, now we're gonna rinse. We're done with our Viper chair for now. Put this aside. Current procedure for this is to rinse first, then soap, then wash. Oops. Now, when you're in here in the garage, don't be pointing this way, because the walls are drywall, the ceiling is drywall. And so, point down. Notice I'm 2 feet away from the car. No, don't get close. The car has CSL XO and OG drying aid on it, so most of the dirt should come off right now. Just remember, anytime you're inside, down, not straight. You know, we'll be shooting and hitting the wall. You get used to that procedure if you're doing any, washing your own house in your own garage. This is just drywall on the wall. I'm gonna holster my gun. Actually, no, I'm not. Yes, I am. Grab my soap, give it another little shake. Pop the top, wipe it off, put it back. Foam cannon ready. I'm gonna make sure I'm all the way positive. Make sure my foam cannon is straight. Adjust the fan. Take my wand back off. We have to bring the new Mosmatic wand holder, so I don't like to holster the wand in the wand holder because it sits down a little hard to get out, so I just throw it in the wheel bucket. Then we're gonna foam. Same procedure, point down. We only have 750 milliliters of solution in here, so you gotta move pretty quickly. Should get good coverage. Watch my hand motion. I'm painting the car. I'm not doing this. Paint. Paint the surface. Get nice even coverage. Take the remaining soap. Take my wand, put it back on for when I'm ready to rinse. Holster it. Take my remaining soap, dump it in the soap in this bucket. If you leave soap in the foam cannon, 3 days later you come back to use it, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna foam. Put my foam cannon away. We're done with this. Remember, you're putting a foam cannon back in a metal cabinet, so dry it off. Now we'll fill our wash bucket. Take our hose, manage our hose, get it out of the way. Rinse. This is why we have 6-gallon buckets. We won't need to revisit any water. Shouldn't need to do anything. Make sure your buckets are in between the stops. And they shouldn't be too tight. In fact, they're a little bit too tight. Let the extra run into the bucket. We'll wash. Now, little car, do little areas, but you can generally treat different panels, separately. So I'm gonna do the roof. So no pressure. The car's coated. This should slide right across. So I did a section about yay big, flip. I'm going to do a section about that big, back to the bucket. Go rinse, wash it around a little bit, wash from top down. So you're going to come back over to this side. I'm going to do the same thing. This section. The dirtier the car, the smaller the surface area you should be washing. It's my car, my way. Don't run around the entire car with one visit of the bucket. You're going to be tempted to do so because the car's coated and clean. So do sections in reasonable areas. Visit the bucket often, especially if you've had it out, you gotten any rain or anything. Drag that across. Hopefully you guys know how to manage and use wipers so that you don't blow through the coating on the windshield. But if the window isn't beading, get the wolves out, reapply. You've seen me do that 100 times. So you can see the whole top section of the car. I visited the bucket 3 times. Now this is a very important part of the process here. So the front clip of the car, don't scrub it, just wash it like I'm doing here now. No pressure, no back and forth motions. I'm just going to get the dirt off the surface if there's bugs and things on the surface. Most of them will have come off, but maybe not all of them did. But don't attack it right now. We have sand and dirt and debris on the surface still. We want to attack the bugs after we've rinsed. There's no need for bug removers because the car's dialed in, the bugs will come right off. Don't start scrubbing my headlights or anything stupid. Just do what I'm doing, just like this. They'll come off, and if they don't, we'll get them when we're doing the drying step. Now we're ready to do the dirty parts of the car. We're going to treat this in smaller sections than we did on the top. Come around. Section about that big. Not that big. Key procedure here is don't go back up. Only go top to bottom. Flip. I'm bringing my buckets with me. This is the dirtiest section of the car. Should be cleaning the diffuser. I find it best to keep the buckets in front of me. And I'm just going to follow the buckets. Notice I'm not scrubbing. I'm just wiping the surface. Simple back and forth motion is all you need. Open up the gas area, clean it out. Take this, bring it out a little bit, open the doors, do the jams, do the underside of the door. Do the crack. See all this dirt? I'm gonna get all this. This will be in Porsche. It's always dirty. If we all keep it maintained, it'll stay nice and clean. Open up the front. Wring it out quite a bit. I don't want a ton of water in here. Generally just wipe down the edge here like this. That's all you need. That area we don't need to mess with. That's it for the washing phase. I'm going to take our sponge. I set it on the Swiss tracks next to where it's going to go. Dump the water. You can dump it wherever you want. Just find a drain. Dump the water out. Remember, don't be the guy that does this. Put the buckets back the way they belong. Should never. Park the buckets. Back to rinse. Notice I always start the pressure washer with it away from the car. Point down. If the windshield doesn't look like this, that means you need to consult Uncle Matty and I'll teach you how to use wiper blades. If it doesn't look like this, then get the Wolf's Nano Sealant, Google it, watch the video, and reapply. Done with the rinse. I'm going to take pressure washer, turn it off, run the water out, take the gun, hold the trigger, pull the quick disconnect, take the gun, flip it upside down with the trigger pulled, put it back in, take the PP plug, install, set this on the ground, take my drag off. I'm going to grab my multi-purpose towel that I had out. If I hit a cabinet or anything, just wipe it off. Take my towel in my left hand. If I'm right-handed, actually you don't have a choice. Pull the rest of the slack off. Get it so that you're find a spot where the hose is tight. I'm going to take the towel in this hand. I'm going to use this to walk it in. I know that Jennifer sends me a photo of anybody who doesn't do this properly, and I put you on the blacklist. I'm kidding. Jennifer just fixes it, I'm sure. Tighten the drag. Pressure washer's clean. Done. Just inspect. Make sure everything looks clean. Good to go. Water's off. All right, drying step. Down here in this cabinet, a couple of things. You've got the Ego blower. You've got the Apex Air, whatever you call this thing, stubby. You've got some ear protection, wear ear protection. We're all gonna swap a little bit of sweat here, so we don't have a choice. You can wipe it off if you want. Put these on, go over to the cabinet in the top left, grab a battery. Should only take one battery. Turn the battery off. These are not attached, so be smart. Put your hand here, pull it off with your fingers. Forget I have to tell everybody everything. I skipped a step before you do this. Grab rust inhibitor. So rust inhibitor, and we're going to spray the rotors liberally. Spray the rotors, not the caliper. Caliper doesn't rust. Always do this before drying. I always start with the wheels and work my way around the car. The mirrors, take your hip, just kind of walk it back. It'll help it drain a bit. See, here's an example, a piece of bug or something that didn't come off. And I didn't get it when I'm washing, but we'll get it in the drying step. Okay, this car procedure is a little different. I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to grab the key. I'm going to jump in the car. I'm going to pull it back and forth a few times. Steel brakes. With great Porsche brakes comes great Porsche brake dust. Notice I didn't blow out the jams yet because I want to do a quick little scrubbing procedure here. Start the car. I don't want it to get warm. Put that down for a second. Okay, now I'm going to finish my drying. That's just to glaze, help with brake dust, help with them rusting over. I'm going to go back to the wheels. Now, when you're drying off this section here, don't blow it into the car. Use your judgment here. The more drying I do in this phase, the less work I got to do afterward. And we're done. See the general theme here. Makes your life easier if you stay organized. Put all this stuff away. Take that, set it aside, take my battery off, charge it for the next person. Take these, kind of split them like this, so that way they can dry if you're sweaty. And I'm going to take my battery and put it back in place. Now, one thing I should have done in the procedure here, should have done this in the beginning, put the wing up. So the way to do that, put the key in. I probably should have done this before I started washing. Press the wing button. It'll come up, that way we can get it clean underneath. You can do it before or after. I should only need 2 towels, one orange, one bulk drying, or small drying, I should say. So these are the 2 towels I need. I'm gonna walk over to my shelf, grab my drying aid, check the tip. It should be tightened all the way down and then back off like a 1/16 of a turn. I don't need a ton of product, actually more like an 1/8 of a turn. And I do sections at a time. I usually stow the thing in my pocket. Take the big towel, wipe it off. You'll notice the towel, until it gets damp, takes a little more effort to get things dry. I take my orange towel and I follow to finish the wipe. Nothing aggressive, I'm not buffing, I'm just drying. So here was our little schmutz. Put a little extra drying aid there. And I'll get it now. It'll wipe right off. That's all I needed to do. Obviously, windows, you can be a little more aggressive if you needed to. The drying aid should essentially flash and disappear. I flip my towel often just to not overload it with water. But 90+% of the water should already be off the car because we've just blew it off. So I should have cleaned this beforehand, so I'm going to get an extra towel. And I'm just going to grab one of my pluffles here because there's going to be some dust and dirt under here that I don't want to drag across the rest of the car. So I think procedurally, put the wing up while you're washing, and that'd be a smarter way to do it. Set that there. So you could get the Viper chair out. I'm feeling spry these days, so I'm just gonna stay on my feet. This is also when you're down here at this level, you can inspect the windows and make sure you didn't have any streak left over. We'll do the door jambs last, because oftentimes there's still a little bit of residual dirt, so I don't want to gunk up my towels and then be revisiting the main surface of the paint. Just stay organized. I don't think there's any right or wrong way to dry the car, unlike washing. The only thing I don't think you should do is do the jambs until you're done, unless you're gonna use a separate towel. I used to use a separate towel for the jambs, but that was before I installed the procedure of actually wiping it out with my wash mitt during the wash process. So I don't need a dedicated jam towel anymore because my jams are much cleaner. The towels will get damp. If you feel like it's too wet, if you didn't do a great job of drying, I mean, sometimes I may grab another set of towels. You're gonna go wash them anyway, so it's up to you. But I can generally get around the whole car, especially a car this size, with just 2 towels. In the glass, you can see the flash of the drying aid. Usually just takes a simple second wipe, comes right off. Give the diffuser a good little drying aid application. Can't hurt. It's September, I'm washing. If I were you, I'd wash with the doors open. If it's summertime and hot, manage the air conditioning. Kind of like I'm asking you to manage the wiper blades. Get in, get out quickly, or turn it off. But in the summertime, I'd be out here with the AC on. I would have pulled the car into place maybe the couple hours before so I could get it nice and comfy, have the Viper fan going. That's up to you. Right now, this time of year, I want to be out in the mountain air. So doors are open. Don't even need the fans. So drying is when you're inspecting and you're looking for areas that you might need to address, might need to clean. Because of how dialed the car is, because hopefully all of you that borrow this are going to be taking good care of it, the washing and drying procedure should be rather enjoyable. The whole wash process should take about an hour, hour and a half. I'd say close to an hour and a half. So notice, because I did all this, I'm pointing away from the windshield when I'm putting drying aid on. If I shoot this way, I'm gonna have to clean the darn windshield again. But generally, I'll do a final little swipe. A little bit of extra water left over from this guy. So I usually leave the front bumper for last, in case there's bugs left over. No pressure, I'm not pushing down, but I also don't need to be super nervous about it. The surface is nice and slick. The drying aid added a little bit of a extra barrier. And so let's pretend there were some bugs here that are still left over because you're out driving and it was at night and you got it plastered. I'm gonna hit the bug with a little bit extra drying aid. And what I would do with my towel, I would wipe it. If it didn't come off, I'd wipe it again. And then I could kind of, double up the towel, just use a little go back and forth, little circular motion. Any bug is going to come off with that. We hit it with the pressure washer, we hit it with the soap, we hit it with the wash pad, we hit it with some drying aid, with some extra lubrication. If that thing doesn't come off, we're probably screwed. So that's a procedure of how you address bugs during the wash process. It was different back in the day before we had these amazing modern coatings. But I'm telling you, you don't need bug removers, you don't need any of that crap. It'll come right off. Okay, now, don't get lazy on me. Remember, you're borrowing this, you should return it in better condition than you received it. So we need to do all our jams. So you're gonna open the doors, open the front trunk, the rear trunk. You're gonna do the right thing. If we all do this, it takes minutes. You don't do it, you're dead to me. Take a little drying aid, hit the plastics. I go up top. I don't feel the need to put any drying aid up here. I want to wipe the top off first. Notice most of the time if I'm touching the paint with my other hand, it's with the towel. White doesn't fingerprint, but it's just a good habit, I think. See how clean it is under here? It'll stay this clean if we do this every time. It's magic. Simple Mormon procedure. Should be everyone's procedure. And then I'm going to wipe off the plastics. Swipe the edge of the glass, at the edge of the trim, of the rubber. Get up here in the jam as much as you can. On the underside of the door, and I close the door. I'm going to just wipe this little crack there. Throw a little drying aid in here. Same thing as the front. Get the top first. If you're not willing to do this, don't borrow the car. It's not for you. This is not a rental car. This is my car. I'm letting people borrow it. It's really difficult to get any further than right there. So that's all we're gonna do. And I just take this towel, swipe underneath. Okay, we're done with these towels. Towels go in here on the left side. We take our sponge. I usually let it dry on the side here. But all our towels go in there. And then we have a how you wash towels procedure. I'm gonna grab 2 of these wheel towels. And I'm gonna grab my, whatever this thing's called, to dress the tires. And then our other easy detail, or race glaze brush should be here as well in case we needed it. But we won't. I'm gonna grab my tire dressing. Got my Viper chair. Grab my drying aid. I'm going to set the tire dressing aside. Put these on my left knee. Set this on the base of the chair. I'm going to come spritz the wheels. A little bit of drying aid. And I'm going to take my towel and I'm going to go around and dry everything off. The more drying aid you put on, the more work you got to do. So I just give it a little bit of spritz, just a little bit. If I soak it down, then I'm going to work a lot harder to dry it off. This is also where I would address, if I miss any spots when I'm, cleaning. Of course, I would never miss any spots. If you missed a spot, just joking. Calm down. I'm gonna have everybody looking at every wheel, trying to catch it in the future. The car I miss spots all the time on is the 836 for some reason. Those wheels look really easy to clean, but they're not. I just give the tire a little swipe. I'm gonna take my applicator, tire dressing. Don't spray it toward the car because you're gonna spritz it on there. Do about yay amount. And I'm gonna apply it. I'm gonna take my applicator, kind of squeeze it into the rim protector area. Wipe the excess. And take my towel and wipe the rim, the edge of the wheel. We're gonna wait till we finish the interior and we'll come back and wipe off that extra. Let's wrap on the wheels. We'll set these aside because I'm gonna need it to dry off the tire dressing after we do the interior. Stow our bottles nice and straight. All right, our interior procedure. Grab 2 interior towels, the vacuum. Same story as the pressure washer. The drag is over here on the right. I'll reduce drag, pull out my hose. All my accessories are here in the top left drawer. So I have my crevice tool. And I have these tools. There's a long crevice tool in the back, but we're not going to need that. I'm going to turn my vacuum on, inside. Now, the car shouldn't be much dirtier than this. I mean, if you're driving around with the windows down, you might get some dust and stuff on it, but if you're doing something wrong in life, this is a lot dirtier. So, pop these out. Slide this out, set it aside. Take this soft tool. Should be all we really need to do. Just vacuum. Make sure you're putting it on the little circle spot. Don't drag the hose across the paint. Another Maddie suggestion in life, take note of things in life. Take note when you open a drawer. How was it in the drawer before? And how am I going to remember to put it back that way? I've been working on Michelle on that for 18 years and nothing's happened yet, but I'm still working. I'm going to grab interior cleaner. I know this is P&S, but it will be Griot's. And I would just do a final, complete wipe down. I got a couple of towels. So what you do is spray the interior cleaner on a single towel. And I'm just gonna stick my foot in here. So you can wipe the leather, center console, the gauges, and the display. Use glass cleaner, same towel if you needed to. That should be the extent of what needs to be done. That's it. And just wipe down any of the areas of the car that you think need to get wiped down. Last step. I'm gonna take our towels, throw them in here. When you wash the towels, don't be a moron and wash a blue towel with yellow towels and ruin them all and not own up to it. And so I'm just gently gonna wipe the tire dressing. Not off, but flat. All right, that's a wrap. Last couple of notes on the car. I would prefer, actually, I'm forbidding you to do any other detail spray wipe down. I know many of you that are gonna be borrowing this car are older, more experienced in life than me, but remember, this is my screwdriver. I'm lending it to you. I want you to use my procedure, so I don't want any wipe downs in between. I know we have that tendency, okay, I'm gonna go drive the mountains, come back. Next morning, I wanna wipe the car off so it's clean for me to drive. Do not, I forbid you, do not do that. The camera right there, I'll see you. Don't do it. The only procedure that you could do, or the only thing that I do permit, glass cleaner, waffle weave towel, so one of the blue waffle weave towels in the cabinet, a couple of those, liberally spray on the windshield. So if you're doing in-between washes and you wanted to keep the windshield clean, that's okay. But don't be tempted to wipe the wheels off or wipe the bugs off the front bumper or do some sort of drying aid detail spray wipe down. Please do not do that. You're going to ruin the car for all of us. It's going to be scratched to crap. So no in-between touching. Don't rub on the paint. Don't try to make it clean, because dirty and not scratched is way better than quote unquote clean and scratch. So just keep that in mind. That's the one thing I forbid you from doing. And I'd also ask you, use this procedure. If you have your own procedure, maybe you'll learn something new, maybe you'll learn something you like or dislike, but I'm asking you, you're borrowing my car, to wash it the way that I'm going through the step-by-step process here. If we do that, it'll stay clean and nice and neat for all of us, and we'll be able to enjoy it for years, and well, I guess maybe a year, and I'll get another car, but you know what I'm saying. I want to keep it nice and clean. Make sure to go check out, if you are borrowing this car, make sure to check out the other video. I'll put a link in the description of the how-to, how we're going to store it now after it's clean. We'll put the car cover on it, where you're going to put it, how you're going to use it, all those kind of things. So make sure to check out that video. If you're interested in this house or this car, you can come here, use all of this stuff. You can bring your own cars, you can borrow my car. Go to destinationog.com or obsessgarage.com and go to the destination link. You can learn more about it. We have mountain biking videos, hiking videos, how to cook on the outdoor kitchen videos, how to use the $50,000 racing sim that we have here. It really is a pretty remarkable place. If you haven't booked it yet and you're considering it, I would come here. It is a fantastic place. So thanks for watching. Thanks to all of you who have come here. Thanks to all of you who are considering coming here. And then those of you who have just been following along, watching the process. The car is here. I promised it. It's here. And now people are going to be able to use it and experience some of the great roads here in the North Georgia mountains. Thanks for watching.